Good evening and welcome to Pole Position Racing, here coming streaming live from North America. I will be your announcer Kermit, and I am joined with Cosmo. Cosmo, how's it
Good
going?
evening. Good. How you doing tonight?
Pretty good. I'm excited for some racing. I've definitely been needing some excitement after the uh, season has ended. So we're what,
Yeah, it's
2 months away from Australia now?
three,
3 months?
2.5. I think it's March,
Yep, I think
maybe
that's right.
April.
So we have a little bit of time yet. I've definitely been suffering from withdrawals. All right, so
Oh, definitely.
this is the first time we've been streaming for PPR. So bear with us a little bit. Some things are going to be a little bit rocky. Some things are going to be a little rough. It is the preseason stream. Um, Comments are welcome in the chat if the quality is looking bad or we need to change something about the stream. Please just let us know, and we will get that fixed best we can. All right, so let me go to in-game spectator. Here we go.
Looks like we got our first hot lap starting here.
Yep. Got W Gore or We Gore, if you will, whichever one. We gotta probably decide on one for that. All right, let's go to a ride along view. There we go. That's a little bit better. All right, we'll enable the lap data too. Perfect. And coming up on the end of sector 2 here. Just around the corner, 52.3 through sector 2. And then the straight down to the finish line. Well, pretty much a straight. There's some turns in there. But we all know you got your foot planted. 188 is the starting time. That is the time to beat. We've got a 109 from Kublai.
We got hammer time coming up next. Oh, Ruda.
Hammer
Ruda
time
with
coming down the
191.
straight. Yeah, Ruda went .191. Hammer time 1917, just below Ruda. Whoa, as he slides into turn 1, getting a little squirrely. Hammer time, third place. W. Gore, as far as I'm concerned, a pretty much unpronounceable name. We got a 111.5 from Doc Balak. Young Dagger goes 189, second fastest. See where Persian King's at on their lap.
Just starting the S's.
Appears to be on a hot lap. We've got Capita Hood, Sky Bits, Sky Archangel, all in the pit still. Rogue will be on a flying lap next. He might finish before Persian King here. Rogue is now in the pits. Let's take a look at, I believe it was Capita. Yeah, Capita finished, excuse me, got out of the pits first.
I think this will be a lap time here for Persian King.
Yep. Oh, sorry. There we go. 52.9 coming out of sector 2. We've seen faster, and Persian King 6th. Not bad, not bad. All right, let's switch
Good
to.
start.
I'll bring it over to Captain Hood. See what we got here from him. Looks good. Nice braking point. Around the corner, you can really open it up past the corner. Again, braking just past the 50-meter board. You don't need to kill too much speed on this corner. The more you can carry, typically the better you'll do on that one. Got to slow it way down here. The car can get unsettled pretty easily. Pretty easy to unsettle the car on the way out of that turn. Turn as well. All right, nicely done there. One thing I've noticed about Capita, I've had the, I don't know, the joy, the dread, whatever you want to call it, of racing against him. Miles ahead of me, no doubt. But one thing I've noticed about his racing is it's incredibly smooth. The way he takes the turns, he's ready, you know, always gets the exit, ready to line up for the next turn. Plenty of other racers here do it, and I'm excited to get to know the rest of them this season.
111.4 for Capita.
111.4. All right, so now Skybits is the next to cross the line. Oh, and Skybits has gone sideways. Yellow flag, sector 2.
Yeah, he's been having some problems.
He has been. Hopefully we'll get a good time from him soon here. So we've got a few people on their out lap. Keeping track of them in order that they came out is going to be a little difficult.
Uyghur back into the pits.
Okay, Uyghur is back into the pits. Ruda seems to be coming out of the pits right now. Let's see whose outlap disappears first. That's, I think, going to be Kubale, I think, is first to go. Let's take a look, see how he's doing. Does appear to be on a hot lap at the moment. Going to try to keep the cursor out of the screen as much as possible. Skybits or Rogue will be the next. Across the line. After Kubale here. I believe he's on a hot lap. Let's see what he has coming out of sector 2. 52-1. 3/10 down on, I think that's the leader. Well, we'll see. Kubale, second fastest. He was 8/10 down on his old time, I think is what it was.
800's off.
Wow, that is close.
You should have time to run one more, see if you can't take a full.
Yeah, we got 10 minutes left in the session. Out lap here takes roughly a minute 30, give or take. It depends on how much jockeying for position you do. Typically, you like to see going out with a minute 40 left or so. Make sure you're going to hit that line. You'd rather get in a lap. And Rogue goes third fastest.
And it looks like Ruda retired. Happy with his time.
Yep. Now let's take a look and see what.
Setting the fastest lap. 187.
All drivers on softs. No one choosing to go for an off strategy here. No one's trying to start on those mediums. So keep in mind we have 15 people for this race. So top 10 still, I believe, have to still start on their qualifying tires, and the bottom 5 can decide to start on whatever tire compound they would like.
Oh, looks like Ruda's having problems with his wheel.
So hopefully Ruda can get that fixed. He's got 9 minutes or so to get that figured out. He won't exit the session, but I think he has to be in the race when the race starts. I believe otherwise the server will kick him. We can try and get him back in after that, but I never remain hopeful with that. As Rogue dives into the pits, let's take a look and see what Sky Archangel's doing. All right, caught Sky Archangel in sector 1. Looks like he's on an outlap currently. I thought I heard him just lift.
Yeah, I don't think so. He didn't have his DRS activated on that straight.
So he's either on an outlap or on an inlap. My guess is the latter, because he's in a position right now that whatever time he set, he would, if it's an improvement, he would. Oh, and Young Dagger goes first with a 186.
Just faster than Premium.
Still 80 mil off of second. There's still an 80 mil gap between the two. That I would say is still a pretty thin margin. Let's go down, see what Shea B's up to. Oh, we got him just about to cross the line here. Let's see what we got. Time is looking a little slow. 6 seconds up on his last. So my guess is that was an out lap. So let's ride along for this hot lap here through turn 1. Turn 2, again, you got to be a little careful not to take too much curb on the exit into turn 3 here. Moving in, hits the apex pretty nicely. Again, brakes just past the 50. Pretty nice there. Didn't scrub off too much speed. Let's see what the end of his Sector 2 time here is.
He's looking pretty smooth through section 2 here.
Yeah, not many mistakes, not too much fuss from the car on the exits.
152.5.
And he crosses the line 7th for 191 from Shavy. Yeah, I'd think you'd got to be happy with that. In a field with these 15 racers, you know, a lot of them have been experienced racing other leagues. Hopefully in the upcoming broadcast, we'll be able to get you a little more background on each of them. But none of them are any, there are no slouches in this league.
Yeah, I can say we've raced with most of these guys, and they're better than us, for sure.
Yeah, oh yeah, I definitely can't go this fast. No. So one of the things in any online league is you always have to weigh how your starting position is going to affect your race. You know, there's still in these races there's normally a little bit of contact. There's never too many huge crashes, but there's always, of course, the possibility of one. So,
especially here in Brazil.
Yeah, personally, where would you like to be? Would you like to be in the front? Do you think you'd like to fight from the back, try and make up some of that time?
Ooh.
I mean, the front's always a nice place to be. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, you can't beat being number 1, but I think I prefer the back than the middle. Got a little more control over your destiny there.
Yeah. You know, at least then you gotta run the slalom through cars that are in front of you as opposed to them trying to run slalom around you.
Yeah.
Looks like the beginning of a hot lap for Creamy Johns.
See if he can't get back on pole.
Trucks 3 planted, opening DRS down the straight.
He's improved in sector 1.
I didn't see the sector 1 split. Oof, that one looked, that corner looked a little choppy on my screen. We'll see. I have to see how that looks on the scene. Oh, I meant frame rate wise. Sorry, that's my bad. Ooh, we got Chandler in the chat calling out, says he'll quit F1 if anyone beats a 107.6. We're at a 108.6. We'd have to make a whole second improvement. However, I have seen a lot of these racers pull out a second in their last run. Oh, I missed what was going on there.
Oh yeah, Creamy took pole again.
Nice.
Improved on his lap by about 1/10 of a second.
Creamy takes 185 and almost takes out, it looked like it was either Rogue or Doc Balak right after he finished his hot lap. So almost some contact there, but we managed to keep them away from each other. W. Gore goes third fastest at 108.6.
Looks like Sky's Bits is the only one who has not set a time yet.
Yep, he just started his hot lap. Let's go take a look. See how we can do. Round turn 1, turn 2, kept it settled. Turn 3, I'm not able to keep tabs on all the racers at once, but it seems like Skybits hasn't had a lap that he's been happy with, so he's either dove into the pits or maybe got some grass on his tires on the way out, so he decided to slap on a fresh pair, try it again.
Yeah, I've seen him in the grass a few times. Locks up front left a little bit there. Oh, and he spins it out. Can't keep it settled.
No.
And
Let's
that's some
see, with
front
2
wing
minutes
damage.
28, he has a little bit of time to try and recover from that.
I think
But we'll
it
see.
might be just enough, but I don't know.
It might be. If he gets on it, he basically has to race back to the pits or
We gotta
try
see.
another lap on the current tires he's on.
Well, he's got a bum front wing. He lost quite a bit, it looked like.
Okay. So he'll have to go in and get that changed at the very least. Luckily, there is an extra time
Oh,
penalty in the
yeah.
pits.
He's got almost no front left wing there.
Yep, not going to be able to set a new time with that, unfortunately. I've
Yeah,
been there, I think.
it's gonna be tough for him to get back into the pits and get out in time. We'll see. If he pushes it.
Yep, maybe. I don't see him in the pits yet, and he's got to be pretty much
Oh,
leaving the pits right now.
he's in the wall again. He's
Oh,
on the back straight. There goes the tire.
yeah, that's got to be tough. All right, Skybits is retired, understandably. Sometimes you just can't get the car back to the pits.
Yeah, didn't look good.
Rogue here is going to cross the line. Stays 7th fastest. We'll see if that was an outlap. He was 3 seconds over on his last time, so he might have pulled out of his lap partially here.
Oh, he's going for it on this lap.
Ooh, Chandler's upping the ante, saying a 107.8. No one can beat that. Give him a little more leeway. It's very nice. An extra 0.15 seconds here. So Rogue really seems to be tearing into it. You know, he's not moving off the racing line for him. Not that he should be. No one's coming up behind him, but
I think he's on a hot lap.
yeah, that would make sense. Nice and tidy, kind of late apex
Almost
on that.
lost it there.
Yep, I saw that. A little bit of wobble on the way out. That could be because this is
Kept
his
it
second
together,
lap on
though.
these tires.
Yeah.
If I had to guess, that's definitely not helping, but we'll see if he can improve on 7th. Creamy Johns is on an outlap. We'll see if he crosses the line in time. Rogue goes first fastest, 108.4.
Yeah.
Creamy is now on a hot lap. So is Hammer Time. Let's see what we got here. Hammer Time about halfway through. I believe he'll finish.
We get about a half-second split between the top 8 racers here.
Gore solidifies his time. He's also finished. So he is at best 5th. We'll see if anyone can knock him down.
Young Dagger locked into 4th. Or maybe not locked into 4th, but sitting in 4th.
I have a tough time believing in Rogue positions that he's on another hot lap at the moment. I highly doubt he is. 3 laps on tires that you'd be starting from pole position for. That'd be tough.
I don't think so.
Capita Hood, 6th fastest. He'll stay there. Start behind Gore. Unless someone can split them between the 171 or the 871 and the 862. And into the pits for Hammer Time. He's decided that he does not want to try to set a time. Creamy John's first fastest, 108.3.
Provisional pole.
Hammer Time not going to be setting a time. We have Sky Archangel.
Up into 7th.
And we have Stoney's going into the pits. Shay B is the only driver still active, and he is slowing down. It looks like he's on his way back to the pits. So, unless there's something we're not seeing, that is your running order. Rogue has not gone into the pits yet, so I wonder if he's on a hot lap.
He's parked on the side of the road.
Nope, there he is. Okay, he's just taking his time getting in, making sure he's not in anyone's way. Typically a good practice, but he will stay 2nd. So he's more than likely just going to retire here because, he might be out of gas. I bet that's what it is.
Yep. So it looks like we got Creamy starting from pole, Rogue in 2nd, Hammer Time in 3rd. Wow. The top 8 is close though, about 4/10 of a second, half-second between the top 8. Should be a good race.
Creamy's showing some real improvement from when I raced him last. He's always been a really solid, consistent racer, always to be found in the top 10, no doubt. But I feel like he played a lot of games with tire strategy in the last season I saw him in. Always trying to qualify on mediums, and a lot of times worked out pretty well.
Well, we'll see how this works out for him today.
Let's double check here. Yep, no one, everyone was using the softs. So, Ruda. Nope, never mind. Ruda will be locked into softs. Red Hornet, Persian King, Stony, Doc Block, and Skybits get free choice of tire compound. We'll see if any one of them chooses to take the option. Gotta reposition some windows quick.
I think someone might take that gamble.
Yeah, it seems like I've always been a fan of the idea that if everyone else is doing the same thing as you know, you don't really. It's harder to gain an edge, right? It's also
Right.
harder to lose that advantage as well. Um, I should say that if you make the wrong choice, sometimes it can go really wrong. But if it turns out to be a good choice for you, then obviously it can pay off largely.
Yeah. And I've always enjoyed ending on the faster tire myself
Yep.
when I
And
start in the back.
so that is your starting order. We got Creamy John's Rogue, Hammer Time, Young Dagger, Gore, Capita Hood, Sky Archangel, Kubale, Shea B, Ruda, and that rounds out your top 10. Red Hornet, Persian King, Stony, Doc Block, and Skybits all wrap up the end of the order there.
And
So,
hopefully we'll have Ruda for the race.
hopefully we will. I haven't seen anything else from him, so let's hope he got his issues sorted out. All right, so Cosmo, put me on the grid. If you're a driver, let's say, well, I think both of us have most experience starting from greater than 10th. So if you're sitting on the grid
Yep.
right now, you're trying to choose your tire strategy. What are we looking at for laps on each of the tire compounds? Does it make sense to start on the mediums?
Yeah, the medium's supposed to go 16, 20 laps. Softs will go 12 to 16, and the hards go 22 to 26. So you could pull off a medium soft if you're good, or two softs and a set of mediums.
Hmm. And for the listeners, how many laps are we looking at in today's race? For
36
50%,
lap race.
36 lap.
Yep, 36 laps here around Brazil.
Okay, and that is the 50%, correct?
Correct.
All right. Which I suppose I haven't looked at league rules, but I assume that's staying the same from last season.
I believe so.
50%.
I believe, yeah.
While I do like the 100% races, they do take a while. There's no doubt about that.
That's commitment.
Hmm.
I think 50% just makes sense for a league too, you know?
Yeah, it seems like a good amount of time. It's still going to take you a little while. It's not going to go by quickly. You start messing around with 25%, and you barely have enough time to make any overtakes to make a huge difference in the outcome of the race.
Yeah, tire deck doesn't really play a factor either.
Yeah, it pretty much
Not a
takes
lot of.
tire deg out of the equation.
Always a one stop. Just want to say thanks to everyone who's joined us out there. Again, this is PPR, pole position racing. This is preseason at Brazil. Going
Hmm.
to start the race here shortly.
Right now, we're waiting for players to. Well, it might be load in at this point, but I potentially pick tire compounds, um, fuel, load, as well as tire strategy throughout the race. So what do you think? I mean, it's tough to tell before the race starts, but do you think we're going to see a one stop or a two stop race here?
I think it's going to be a two stop for most of the races.
Mm,
I think a one stop would be pushing it, unless they're going to go on to the hards.
yep. Yeah, your tire deg would have to be pretty. Um, I don't know, pretty stellar to go the max number of laps on the softs and the max number of laps on the mediums, which would be
Yeah,
16 and 20 respectively.
and to do it quick.
Right, and to do it quick. That's the other thing is you can always take the gamble, and that's really the difference that you're looking at, right? Is if I pit, is it going to take, or if I don't pit, rather, am I going to lose 36 seconds ish, 30 to
Right.
36 seconds, um, to the car behind me? I don't know exactly how long Brazil's pit lane is, but typically they're in the
All right.
30-second
Looks like
range.
they're just ending the formation lap here.
Yep.
So we're going to start on.
Ruda has
Oh,
left
no.
the
Just.
session, so we'll try to get him back in. All right, so Creamy John's is away. We're waiting on Rogue to get going here. See what we
A
got.
little
Looks like
confusion to
Rogue
start
has
here, it looks like.
stalled out. My guess is he probably went to go get water or something. Rogue, that's why you got to be here. So it's going to transport him back to the
Oh,
grid.
looks like we're doing a restart.
Oh, yep, makes sense. Oh, someone ran in the back of someone, took out a wing or something. All right, so let's put this back on. All right, so while we get this set back up, we'll get invites sent out again. We'll get it all taken care of. All right, so like we had mentioned at the top of the stream, we're currently in the off season for Formula One. So what's one of the biggest pieces of news, Cosmo, that you've seen come out of the off season that I guess you've been focusing on the most so far?
I mean, just recently, Max Verstappen locking up that Red Bull deal till
I saw that.
2023.
Yeah, what's your
That's, I
opinion on
mean,
that?
I mean that with the Honda engine, they're starting to look real good there in Red Bull. If
Hmm.
the I mean, Honda's not predicting major upgrades for this year, but I don't think they need anything big to, put it to that next level where they're really competitive most races.
Yeah, I think they showed in pretty
So,
much the second half of the season after Spa. I mean, even before Spa, they were showing glimmers of hope with Max. But once they made the switch to Albon from Gasly, I think Gasly was just starting to hit his stride. But as soon as they got Albon in that seat, the car really seemed to take a step up in performance at the very least, in keeping with. Um,
the other two top teams.
yeah, exactly, exactly.
Yeah. Well, and even Gasly that in Brazil with Hamilton, that Honda engine just beat him to the finish line there. I mean,
Mm.
I know Lewis had a little bit of front wing damage, but still.
Yeah, at the very least, yeah, he won pretty close to a drag race. I think Lewis still got a decent exit on the on the turn there, and that was at Brazil. Is that correct?
Yeah, correct.
I remember
So
that.
yeah, I think it's a good call for Max.
Hmm. Seems
Puts
pretty
pressure on
strong.
the other teams.
Yep. It'll be interesting to see how this year plays out versus 2021 with the reg changes. As far as biggest changes, I will go into depth on the changes for regs a lot more in the future as we do more streams because we'll have plenty to go before the season actually starts. One of the bigger changes is the simplification of the aero package. It seems like the FIA is really pushed to get the aero package almost out of the equation entirely.
Or mostly, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see if it works. I guess only time will tell.
Yep. I think the general strategy there the FIA is taking it seems to be a good one. I think it could. Well, I think it's one of the better options they have. So I think their main goal right now is strip away, I guess, as much freedom as they can while still believing that they can make it competitive, but then kind of loosening up regulations as they go on. And I think that does, in my opinion, one of the big things that does for the lower teams on the grid is that it allows them to kind of start over, right? We're going to cap the
Yeah,
cost that they can spend. We're going to cap basically the development that they have to do in 1 year, right? They don't have to worry about developing a wing as well as I think the gearbox. I could be wrong on this, but I believe the gearbox is going to be spec as well. Everyone's going to get the same gearbox.
I
Um,
don't remember seeing that, but you could be right.
I might be right. We'll check on that for next stream. Um, but with all of that, I think it really lends, Williams, your Alfa Romeos, your Haas Racings, teams that have shown glimmers of improvement. I think it really gives them not a leg up, but it helps them a lot more. Where when you look at the top teams, Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull, if you will, and maybe even Renault, it kind of seems like a step backward, right? Is you put all that time into developing these
Yeah,
aero
right.
pieces, right?
And the
Um,
facilities that go behind them.
Right, exactly. There's a lot of infrastructure there. That's something that often gets brought up in F1 as uh, mainly as part of the conversation of overall cost, right? Is you get the teams that are run production cars that have access to a lot of these facilities. So, do you see any of the teams trying to circumvent the cost rule? It's got to be someone's going to find a tip and trick to kind of skirt around that rule, right? I mean, it's
I
F1.
mean, yeah, in all sport, everyone's gonna try and cheat and find the best way to get to the top, whatever way they can.
Yeah, I'm sure I'm sure the teams would have a much different word for it than cheating. My guess is they would
Well,
say something along the lines of, I interpreting the rules a little differently. But yeah, I think you're spot on with that.
yeah, we'll see.
Hmm. All right, let's see here. So it looks like we've almost got all 15 drivers back in the session. Oops,
Missing
I should
one, it
stop
looks
that.
like.
Ruda is in the session and he has readied up, so I'm going to take that as a sign that he has his wheel connected again. So hopefully we'll have him for this race.
I hope so.
We'll go from there.
He's a quick racer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's quick. I was actually had the well, I was actually on his team for a little while. I was on I think we were on Racing Point together, and we were he was definitely faster than I was, but I think we were pretty evenly matched, at least at the time, as far as consistency goes. This practice session went pretty well for him, so we'll see if he's got some of the consistency quirks worked out. And of course, we'll see how the race plays out. You can be the most consistent driver out there,
Oh,
but if you just can't get the speed, then
looks like we're starting without hammer time.
it does look like that. So we'll see what we can do here. I'll try to. I don't believe I can send him an invite, so that's gonna have to be taken care of by Creamy
Oh,
or
he is not racing anymore, it looks like.
okay.
Rude is saying in the chat.
Okay. Well, I hope that's true. At this point, we're going without him, so looks like it's we're kind of out of luck at the moment. So, Hammer, we'll miss you. Am I eating a bowl of cereal? No, but I do have a plate in front of me. So, what that tells me is I should put that down and mute my mic. Can do. Thanks for the tip, Ruda. Funky Cactus, no one to take out Bottas. So in this scenario is let's see, hold on. Hammer was on Mercedes. Yeah, Hammer was on
Yeah.
Mercedes. So is Hammer Time Bottas or Lewis in this scenario?
I don't know. Have either of them won a championship?
I don't
I
believe
don't.
so. Well,
Yeah.
I think
Looks like we're on
Mercedes
our
will.
formation lap here.
Yep, here we go. So we'll bring that back in. Got to make sure. Oh, that's what I wanted. Perfect. All right, and we're back. So we're on the formation lap. Obviously, it is Creamy John's duty to hold position. Excuse me, set the pace during this out lap or the hot lap. So what are you looking for here when you're on the out lap? For those of us that don't play
Getting the
or
tires,
watch F1.
keeping the tires in the right window, and getting my fuel and ERS set up right.
Hmm. Yeah, that's one of the things I feel like setting your ERS mode, for
Someone
those of
had
you
a
that
little
don't know, the
spin.
energy recovery system, and your fuel modes, which controls how much fuel burn you use, which is directly related to how fast you'll go, believe it or not. Getting those all set up, making sure you're where you want to be at the beginning. So I'd imagine at a pole position on a race like this, you want to pretty much start out in max settings.
Yeah, hot lap and high fuel.
Yep.
Yeah, that's usually what I do.
All right,
Might
let's
play it a
go.
little more conservative from the back. And it looks like Red Hornet and Persian King have both decided to go with the medium tire for this race, to start this race.
Yeah.
So they're going to take the risk.
That's true. Interesting. They're in 10th and 11th. So it'll be interesting to see if Stony, Doc Block, and Skybits can overtake Red Hornet, Persian King early. I'd imagine they have to. In order for the soft strategy to work, you want to spend as little time as possible trying to battle with them. So we got Skybits coming in at the back, and as soon as
Yep.
he is in position, the lights will turn. And the lights are out, and they go racing as we come down to the straight in turn one. Looks pretty clean getaway for pretty much all the drivers. I don't see any bits flying anywhere. We've got Rogue just ahead of Creamy going into first,
Oh, we
and
got a
Gore gets
Igor with
tapped.
a little spin out of turn one there. Now down in last.
Gore gets tapped. Rogue has done a good job at putting a decent amount of speed, or excuse me, a decent amount of space between him and Creamy at the moment. We got a quarter of a second between the two. Of course, DRS is not a factor at the moment. That'll get enabled on
DRS
lap
will be active
3.
lap 3.
Creamy doing a good job of staying right behind Rogue. On a track like this, especially with so many right to left-hand turns, it can be really easy to get too aggressive, go into the turn a little too hot, and end up sliding out on your opponent. So Creamy doing a good job to stay just far enough back that he has a chance, but not so close that he's going to run into the back row.
And it's very difficult to follow through sector 2 in this track.
Absolutely. Yeah, that loss of downforce in the front wing can really
Looks like we got a yellow flag in sector 3. That's all cleared up. Looks like the front two here are really kind of starting to get a little further away from the pack.
It's true. They're battling it out for first, doing a pretty good job at giving each other enough room. But we'll see if one of them can't close the gap, or extend and or close the gap. Right now, telemetry is saying Capita is 1 minute and 12 seconds behind third place. That doesn't sound right to me. What about you?
I don't think so. I'm seeing that.
Let's go take a look, see how Capita's doing. No, he is right on the heels of Dagger. We got a nice battle. I'd say probably a 4-way battle going for maybe first right now, but certainly a 3-way battle going for second. The outcome of this session of cards, I mean, any one of them that gets to the lead of these 3 could really be in a position to take over.
Gore's looking to storm his way back through the field here as he, after that first lap spin, having to move down into turn 1 here.
Skybits is a DNF. Unfortunately, I don't remember seeing that happen. But now we're down to 13 racers.
He looked like he was struggling all session. Oh, Stoney's out of the race.
Stoney is out. Skybits.
Looks like maybe he and Gore had a little collision again.
Could have been.
Gore's back down to 12.
Dagger doing a good job keeping the interval between him and Creamy pretty consistent. Dagger's about to fall a second behind. Of course, this lap is critical. Lap 3, this is when we get access to the DRS. So everyone within a second of the car in front of them has DRS. You'll see on the back of their car, that's that little flap that opens up, gives them a little bit higher top speed, but with that comes a little bit less downforce. So you got to be careful when slamming into turn 1 there. Make sure you don't take off a little too much. Capita right on the heels of Dagger, but cannot seem to get past him at the moment. Let's take a look and see how that looks from his point of view. Just glued to the back, but as you can see, he runs a little bit wider, both to gain some speed going into the entry at this corner, but also to kind of get out of that slipstream, by choice or by not. If he's right behind Dagger, he's going to see a loss of grip on the front end. Dagger, a little bit of a mistake going into the turn there.
Creamy might just be close enough to make a move down to the turn 1 here with the DRS. It'll be close.
Let's take a look. We'll go back to Capita here in a minute. Capita successfully makes the pass on Dagger. Sorry about that on Capita. I missed that one by just a couple seconds.
Rogue defends nicely there.
Yeah, that was good. Taking that a little deeper into the corner. Let's see if it hurts him on the exit. One of the nice things about being a car in the lead in a position like that is the fact that you can count on the person behind you having some traction issues.
Absolutely.
Capita and
Capita
Dagger, we're
opens
going to move
third.
back to that. They are going back and forth. Let's see where Dagger's at. Oh, he is right on the heels of Capita. 1/10 of a second off at times. Capita got a pretty good exit there. We'll see how he gets an exit going down the main straight. Or the kind of exit he gets into the main straight.
Well, it looks like Capita's lost his GRS premium here. So
That's true. So he doesn't have DRS, and Dagger will have DRS coming up on him quick.
He's very vulnerable going into turn 4 here.
A little bit of a lockup on the left side. Creamy.
Looks like he's going to try.
Going around the
Oh,
outside.
just couldn't quite get it done. Got squeezed out on the outside there by Capita.
See, this is what I'm talking about. Capita's a very hard racer to pass. He's got a lot of the lines nailed through the corners that he doesn't give you any more room than he has to get around that corner. Other close battles in the field. Creamy Johns is now 6/10 off of first. Capita falling back to 2 seconds off of second place. We have Sky Archangel just barely over a second behind Dagger. Let's see if Dagger can get it done going into turn 1 this time. He's carrying a lot more closing speed. And he slides out.
He's going to slide.
Oof. Wow, he did a really good job of not taking out Capita there. That's super easy to do. But that's got to be tough for his tire day.
And he'll still have DRS here, so hopefully he'll be able to get back up and close and try again on the next lap.
Keep a close eye on that one. Let's see how
Persian King seems to be holding on well with the mediums. Still hanging out there in 9.
Yeah, Persian King, I think that's exactly where he wants to be. That's a really good... do you think he's going to go medium hard, medium soft, soft?
I think you got to do 2 sets of softs.
No stops from the field yet. So position change. First, we have Rogue up 1 spot into first. We have Capita Hood up 2 spots into third, so he's doing pretty well right now. On Doc Black, also worth a mention, up 3 spots into 10th. Gore is unfortunately 7 spots down from starting position, but a lot of that has to do with his turn 1 spin going into, or at the start of the race.
He's had a few spins.
I think he had another one before he was able to get his
I think he
weight
got
fixed.
together with Stoney.
So your Dagger, you just saw that exit of the corner there, or maybe you didn't, but he was sliding out quite a bit after turn 1. If you're him, do you pit right now? You've got 8 tires on your, or excuse me, 8 laps on your soft tires that you qualified on. They're only meant to go 16 laps at most.
I think it's a little early. I think he's got to wait 2 more laps. I think he's just pushing a little hard here. He's getting a little impatient.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's got to be tough to be stuck in that position, but I think that's probably the right call. If it were me, we'll see what he ends up doing, but I think I would probably wait for Capita to pit.
Try the overcut.
Yeah, try the overcut. I think undercut's probably better here, but it's a matter of when. When do you do that?
Yeah, you just don't want to go on the same lap.
Right. Right, yeah, anything but the same lap I think gives you a good chance. Let's hop over to Gore, see how he's doing on Doc Block. He's only 3/10 behind. Looks like he's looking to make a move.
He's quick, but he's struggled in this race. Don't know if it's been his fault or other people's fault. I haven't seen either of the accidents.
Yeah, unfortunately, he hasn't been
rough
far
race
enough
for
to
him.
pay too much attention yet. But with that pass on Doc Block, it won't be long. looks like to me, so Gore has... Wait, did he pit? I don't think he did.
No, I don't believe he has pitted. Nope, no stops from the field yet. He is storming though through this field. He looks like Persian King's next on those mediums.
Yeah, no stops. Yeah, this will be lap 9. If 12 is what they're supposed to do, around lap 9 you're going to see a little bit of loss of tire drag. Obviously, they're not going to hit that cliff quite yet. If he's been doing a good job controlling the temperatures, he should have enough grip to get at least challenge Persian King pretty well. Persian King obviously can defend well enough if he's saved his engine modes.
I think Gore's just got the pace on him here.
Gore has quite a bit of charge on the battery. We'll see him kick it up to 5 on the energy recovery system here. Try and get a good shot at Persian down straight.
I think with PRS he's going to be gone.
We'll watch him into turn 1. Creamy is about 1/10 off of Rogue.
Creamy makes the pass.
Creamy does make the pass. I'm going to. There we go. So Creamy makes the pass. Rogue. I imagine it's got to be trying to get that back. Yep, he's right on Creamy. I think Rogue is best to be patient here. No need to push the car in places you should. So I'd like to see him really go for it. It is preseason. As far as I know, I've not been informed that any points are on the line. So we should have...
Yeah, penalty or otherwise, I don't think.
Yeah, no, I don't believe so. I could see the stewards handing out a penalty to someone that makes a pretty egregious mistake. However, I haven't seen anything so far, at least that we've reported, that would lead to some sort of penalty.
I think it'd have to be intentional.
It really would, and I don't think what happened to Gore on lap 1 was unfortunate, but I have a hard time believing it was intentional.
No, I think race the incident, lap 1 spin.
Sky Archangel's got a 3-second time penalty with multiple warnings. Just saw that pop up at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, Skybits had a crash on lap 2. Sony on 3. And that was Sky Archangel was the first time to do that.
Are they a lot of
3 seconds.
penalties for the grid right now?
So far, a few warnings, but no penalties besides the one.
Let's open this telemetry again. So, right now, Rogue has quite a bit of ERS stored up. I'd imagine, yep, he's going to use some of that coming down the straight here, trying to make a pass for Creamy.
Should be a pretty easy one with PRS here.
Yep.
He's already passed him. You can see him in the rear view mirror.
So we got here, yeah, he's almost 3/10 up. That was a really good straight for him. Creamy cooks it a little hard going into turn 1. He's going to lose some time coming out of turn 2 into turn 3 here. So Rogue did a really good job keeping that planted through there, and Creamy lost a little bit of time. Nothing he can't make up, but I'd imagine, we'll see if he can do it, but I imagine he won't make it up before the pit stop. So
They should be stopping anytime now.
I would think. Let's see how Dagger's doing. Again, still behind Capita, but no further away than he was when we left it before.
Hey, thanks, Henchman. Henchman's saying great commentary. We appreciate it. It's our first time out here commentating for PPR. Trying to learn as we go.
Yeah, thanks to everyone that was in the chat, or that is in the chat. We've got, I see Paul out there, we got Funky Cactus, Nick Moore, Oliver S. I wonder how many of you are actually racing in the race right now, because there's got to be a few of you. But everyone, thanks for joining us. Yeah, but like I said, it's our first time. We'd love to do more for you. Next time, we'll hopefully have a little more cards set up, you know, title cards, cue cards, some more information for you, a little more analysis of the track, and what have you, but we'll make some couple baby steps. Creamy sliding out into turn 1 there. Capita being able to put a lot of pressure on Creamy.
And I think this might be an in lap here from Rogue. He just set a fastest lap, and it looks like he's flying again on this lap. Looks like Doc's got a 3-second time penalty as well.
It'll be interesting to see where that puts him. Again, we've got all 4 of the top drivers very close.
Within 2 seconds.
Yeah, the gap between just a little over 2 seconds between 1 and 4th. Yeah.
I think the pit stops will be crucial here.
Yeah, the pit stops are going to make a big difference. I don't know if they're
Creamy in.
Creamy coming in for a pit. First to pit.
Creamy's the only one. Pits. Oh, and he got a speeding in the pit lane penalty.
Ooh, that's tough. So I don't. Oh, that will be tough because there's not much. We'll see if the stewards want to go back and erase the time penalties afterward. However, I've got to believe that they're going to let the game just decide.
He is on the mediums.
Yeah, we'll see if anyone contests.
So we'll see if he can go to the end here, but I think he's going to be making one more stop. And that's going to put him out. Looks like it'll put him out in 8th here.
Wow, that's more than I would have expected, honestly. So we'll see.
Yeah.
He's still 9/10 behind Gore. The key thing here is going to be not getting caught up on the people that haven't pitted yet.
Right.
If he does, then I have to believe Rogue Captain or Jagger is going to take the position from him.
It looks like it's about 18 seconds for a pit stop.
We've got Shea in the pits currently.
See if either of our leaders come in here. Rogue stays out for one more. Capita's out for one more, and so is Young Dagger.
We'll have a nice view of the laps from Dagger's cockpit here. Kublai getting close to a pressuring Sky Archangel for 4th. Creamy John's getting close to Gore. I would believe if you're him, you want to sit behind Gore. Wait for him to pit. Don't try to challenge him too much unless you can really make that pass. But you don't want to take off too much dag off your tires.
He should be able to take him pretty easy. He should have a lot better tire grip here. It looks like he's going to take him down the inside of turn 4.
Makes sense. Creamy makes the pass on Gore.
Ooh, good, real wide there on the exit though. Puts him up in a 7th, about 6 seconds here behind Ruda. So he should be a lot of free space to undercut these guys.
Yeah, so if you're Creamy, you want to put in some consistent laps. You want to set fast. I don't think you want to set a fastest lap at this point in the race. You're only on mediums. You don't want to go crazy. I think tire dag is the name of the game for you.
Rogue out again for one more. Capita's diving in. Dagger's going to stay out. And it looks like Archangel's going to jump in as well. It looks like the McLarens are going to double stack.
Ooh, that'll be interesting. That's one of the hard things. I know some people attempt it, but if you're not on the radio with your teammate, you always have the chance of.
It looks like both those guys out onto the mediums as well.
Ooh, a little bit of a mistake from Dagger there. Had to run quite wide. A little bit of a lockup. But nothing too bad. Nothing that he can't recover from. Creamy back up into 5th already. We're getting that many more pits.
Looks like Gore got past him again. Maybe a little DRS battle.
I saw that.
Nice little switchback though. Gets him coming out of turn 4 again.
We'll see if Creamy can make it stick. Two laps on those tires. They should be coming up to 10 for Creamy.
Does Rogue finally dive in? It looks like he is. Yep, Rogue finally diving in for 5th.
See when Rogue comes out.
And Dagger's gonna stay out for one more. These guys might be trying to one stop. This will be the edge of a one stop here if they're gonna go out onto mediums.
Let's see if we got Rogue exiting the pit lane. Let's see where he comes out. He's got enough time to possibly come out in front of Creamy.
See, Creamy's just coming in turn 1 now.
If Creamy makes no mistakes through turn 1 and 2, I have to believe he'll come out ahead. In the data, he makes the points.
Yep, looks like Creamy comes out ahead here.
And Rogue comes out just ahead of Gore. I think that's right where he wants to be. He wants to be
able to put... someone hit the wall there. Gore
looked like it was Gore, and someone
And Rogue spins.
Rogue spins.
Yeah, Rogue into the wall, or into his spin
Unfortunate
there.
for Rogue. I did not see
Oh.
what happened there.
Looked like Gore and Kappa to Hood,
Looks
and
like Capita
Rogue
Hood
all
has
got tangled up.
part of a wing missing for sure. So, did anyone come out of this well? I don't believe so.
Gore's car looks intact.
He's going
He
pretty
should be,
slow around that corner. Let's see if we can't get a different angle.
maybe. We'll have to watch. Maybe when he goes into the pit lanes, we'll see if he changes a wing. But it doesn't. I don't see any damage.
We got Kublai in the pits. He's in a good position to make up a lot of places right now.
And Dagger's staying out 17 laps on these tires now, plus his qualifying lap. These tires got to be screaming.
Gore, unfortunately, dropping back. Even though it doesn't show it, yep, Gore into the pits. Makes sense. We'll see if he gets a wing change here.
Oh, it looks like Capita's out of the race.
Capita is out. Unfortunate retirement for Capita. He was having such a good race. All right, on to the mediums.
It looks like no change there for him. So wings should be just fine.
Yep.
So does Dagger come in this lap? Should come out and pit back into second.
It's a good question. Let's see him come around.
I mean, at this point, he's got to be losing lots of time to Creamy. Those tires are so old.
Yeah, he's got 15 seconds.
Right,
Let's see how he's able to come out. Creamy's going to get past him. Kublai probably. I think he's going to be close to Rogue, though.
I think he should come out in front of Kublai. I think it was about 18 seconds for a pit.
Okay. Let's see, Kublai 9 seconds behind him, closing that distance fast. 25 seconds behind him. Sorry, he was.
Yeah, Kublai has not even crossed the start-finish line yet. He's just coming into turn 1 now.
12 seconds behind, so that was still a significant reduction in the gap for Kublai. He's got to like the position he's in. And was that part of Dagger's wing?
I think so. I think it was an end plate.
It looks like it, at least what we're seeing on screen here. And running that turn wide, Kublai's got to be liking his position right now.
That's a shame.
That is a shame. My guess is he had a little bit of damage going into the pits, but assumed it was not going to be enough to have to change out the wing. But as with any gamble, if the other half of the wing goes, then you got to go back in for the wing anyway.
Yeah, and it looks like Kublai with a 3-second time penalty.
Kublai 3 seconds. So Rogue is technically running third right now. Rogue has closed the gap enough that he will be on podium. But Kublai is going to have a lot of runway in front of him, especially if Dagger decides he needs to go back in for a pit. Dagger staying out, losing about a second a lap to Creamy, but keeping his distance to Kublai pretty similar.
Yep, young Dagger back into the pits.
Oh, Dagger back in. Yep, that makes sense. Got to get the new wing.
Change that wing. And that's a shame. He was having a great race as well.
Interesting.
So I'll promote Ruda up into 5th.
Definitely.
Sky Archangel into 4th.
I mean, it just goes to show in a league like this where everyone's so consistent, keeping yourself out of one crash or one incident can really make the difference between, I mean, look at Archangel. He was in, I think, running 6th or 7th, and now he's up into 4th. Partially because he's been consistent, and partially because we've had some racers that tangled. It'll be interesting to see what the stewards say about that.
Seems like he's keeping his head down, keeping it clean. And, I mean, as of right now, he's in position to compete for a podium. And I think our medium runner should be pitting here pretty quick on lap 19 of their tires.
Yeah, Hornet and Version King have got to be looking to get into the pits. Those are rated for 20 laps max. Depends on how well they do on tire deck. One thing we unfortunately can't see through this display.
I think they can go a little longer than 20, but 20 was about as far as they seem to want to stretch.
Rogue doing a good job of keeping a consistent amount of space between him and Sky Archangel. In the last lap and a half, he's put about half a second on. Kublai following back from Creamy, and Rogue keeping his gap consistent to Kublai for the time being.
Yeah, and Creamy's looking real good here, about 10 seconds out front.
So if you're Creamy, you've got 7 laps on the tires right now, which means you got to go another, let's say that's 15 to the end of the race here. Do you try and stretch them that? They're only meant to go 20, so we'd have to go 20, what is that, 23 laps on them, 22? Give or take a lap or two. Do you try and maintain your 10-second lead, or do you do the safe thing, pit, come out probably behind, you might come out behind Ruda at this point. Persian King, a good pass on Ruda.
Yeah, Persian King and Ruda would probably be about where it would be, where he'd come out 5th, 6th.
Yeah. Persian King
But Persian King still has to pit.
Ruda falling 5 seconds behind Persian King. I'm not sure why he lost so much time in this last lap. Looks like he's doing okay, as most of the wing's still there. Could be team orders. They decided that, Persian King, he's got 21 laps on these. These has to be one of his last laps on these tires.
I think there must have been an incident. 6 seconds is too much.
Yeah, 6 seconds is a lot. You would think that if he's going to let him by, he'd just lose a second or two. So it doesn't quite seem like an incident. 6 seconds enough. You could run wide, spin out on it. Not quite a spin out. I think it typically takes more than 6 seconds to turn the car around. Get it back where you need to be. Tires up to speed. I guess he probably just cooked it into a turn a little too hard. Had to back off.
And yeah, I think if I'm Creamy, I'm pushing these tires as hard as I can. Getting as big of a lead as I can, and then coming into the pits.
He's got to be looking at the increasing gap to Kublai and saying, all right, I put 1 second on him last lap. Kublai has a chance to run. Sorry, half a second. Kublai has to be attempting to run for the end of the race. He at least has to be part of his strategy right now. There we go, Persian King into the pits. He's able to slow it down.
Paul saying we're 2 great lads. You're a great lad yourself, Paul.
Thanks, Paul. Appreciate it.
Oh, and it looks like we lost Doc at some point. I don't know. And W. Gore.
Oh, unfortunately. Yeah, are you able to see what laps that they,
Yeah, let me take a look.
With this on? Thanks for the comment. Always like
Doc on 21.
Doc on 21, so he just went out 2 laps ago. Cosmo, I'm not sure if you can see that on your screen, but it seems like Funky keeps hitting enter twice in the chat. Getting everything he's saying twice. I don't know if that's a glitch on my end or if he's got a couple browser windows open.
Yeah, I've seen it a couple times, yeah.
Sky Archangel got to be looking to close that gap. Again, it's been pretty consistent. He hasn't been losing time. If they decide to pit again, that may change some things up.
Hey, you know what? We can make our own tire deck thing like they had on Sky Sports. It'll be just as good.
Yeah, I mean, I think you just put 4 black bricks on the screen. You put just some percentage between like 80 and 20 on there. And then you just, hope that they pit around when it says, 0% left.
We'll figure it out.
The unfortunate thing with this overlay is as soon as I click out onto anything else, whether it be a slideshow, whether it be tire deck, sorry about the mouse, I just realized that was parked in the middle of the screen. No need for that to be there. Regardless of what it is that you need to click out for, whether it be other options, tire deck, this and that, it pauses the game, it puts the pause screen up, which I can understand. You're in a race, you really want that to happen, but if I'm spectating, I'd rather just have it run.
Yeah, I agree.
I haven't looked through all the settings yet, but I looked through where I thought it would be, and it just not there. Sky Archangel on 1 lap older tires than Rogue. You got to be like the position you're in if you're Rogue. We're getting close to the point where Creamy could pit and come out ahead of Rogue. We've got, I think, about 3 seconds to go before that happens. Oh, here, let me switch this to. So we got Rogue 15 seconds behind the leader
it's
right
close.
now.
It's getting close. I think he came up behind the Sky Archangel.
That's true, yeah, with 18 seconds, he's coming right up behind Sky. Yeah, if I'm Creamy, another 10 laps for these tires is probably a stretch. How deep do you think he runs these? Do you think he runs the full at least 16, which is the minimum? How many laps do you want on the softs?
I don't know. It seems like he started to back off. That gap to Kuble has been consistent, man. He might try and push him. I don't know.
That's true. He's kind of at the point where he's got to make the decision soon here, whether he decides to push and pit or try and take it easy. I think he's got enough time that he can take it easy, that as long as he's consistent, keeps tire deg under wraps, shouldn't have too much of a problem pushing to the end of the race with an 11-second leeway.
Right. He could take it pretty slow, and as long as he's keeping it consistent, he should be able to keep the lead.
Dagger, the only racer on 2 stops right now. Really unfortunate. It's good enough that he's doing, well, not good enough, but I'm sure he wouldn't be happy with it. But it's still a pretty good effort to show that he's in 6th with 2 stops.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Kind of makes you wonder if he would have just gone for it, said replace the wing, get me out of here as soon as you can, if he'd still be in the same position. I have to imagine he'd be around 4th instead of Sky.
He'd be closer competing, I think.
Rogue, 3.8 seconds off Kuble. Barely see him coming into the last turn here.
I think if anyone's gonna pit, they're gonna have to do it here in the next 2 or 3 laps to make it worth it. Get the full use out of their soft tires.
Yeah, if the softs are supposed to lap 12, I have to imagine that you want to pit probably latest lap 30. Give yourself 6 laps on those tires. You're gonna spend at least 1 lap getting them up to 10. So you're gonna probably put in a little slower lap time, but then after that, you're really gonna have to haul. So yeah, if I'm Creamy, I think I want to stretch here.
Yeah, I think it's too late to go into the pits for him.
He's kept the gap to Kuble consistent, but the gap from Rogue and Archangel has really
it's going a little
changed. Yeah. Well, I suppose he'd probably come out in front of Archangel right now.
Yeah, without any mistakes in the pits.
fantastic race. Up 5 positions, 7. Again, Persian King, also great. Up 4 spots. Ruda up 4 spots. Archangel up 4. Dagger only down 3 despite being a pit behind everyone else.
Yeah, we'll see if he can do anything here in the dying laps of this race.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Persian is going to give Dagger a run. He's could do. You got to take away about a half second per lap at that interval. Sorry, 1 second per lap.
Oh, I think Dagger might be able to give Ruda a run for his money on the dying laps here.
Let's take a look.
Maybe not.
See how close he is.
About 4 seconds.
Dagger just got a 3-second time penalty, so I don't know that he'll be looking to close that gap.
Yeah.
Can you give us a penalty update? Overall seconds per.
Yeah, let me take a look here. Alright, we got quite a few. So, Sky Archangel got one on lap 11, as did Red Hornet.
So total time penalties running down the order here. Creamy John's, any penalties?
He's got a 5 second.
Okay, so he's still comfortably ahead of Kubel.
3 second. Yeah, he's got 8 seconds. Looks like.
Kubel
It'd be nice if they added them all up instead of just having it.
That's true.
Looks like Kublay's got at least one.
Oh, I didn't realize it didn't add it all up. I guess the only way to see that really will be
It will at the end, yeah. But it's just a list of incidents.
Unfortunate.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, Creamy's got 8 seconds of penalties.
Hey, Funky, thanks for joining us, and Paul, thanks for joining us as well. Thanks for stopping by. Bring your friends next time. Make sure you're part of the Discord. And we'll see you around.
Can we
and that
share
goes
the
for
Discord
anyone
to
if
the
you're
chat?
looking to. Sorry, go ahead.
Can we share the Discord to the chat?
I believe it was. Nightbot, I believe, shared it a little while ago. I'll have to look back on that, though.
And thanks to everyone who's joined us. This is lap 32 of 36 of the Brazilian Grand Prix preseason for PPR, pole position racing. I'm Cosmo. I'm joined by Kermit. And yeah, we'll wrap this thing up shortly here.
Yeah, we got about 4 laps left. Doesn't look like intervals are kind of closing in the middle of the field, but we're still looking at gaps of over 2 seconds. So I think the largest chance of
got it down to 2.
Yeah, largest chance of overtake we have is Dagger going from 6th to 5th. There we go. Thank you, Nightbot. I appreciate that. So what we've got in the chat right now is a link. Go ahead and follow that one on over to our Twitter page. I imagine there will be a link to the Discord somewhere to join that. Of course, always give us a holler on Twitter. And let us know of anything that you want to see in future streams, past streams that you'd like us to incorporate into this season. We'll see how much of schedules work out with all of our commentators. We've got a decent commentary team for PPR, but of course we're also running a lot of leagues. So we can't commentate all of them, even though we'd love to. But Cosmo and I will do our best to keep it fresh and do as many races, at least in the D1 PC, that we can.
Yeah, had a lot of fun on our first race. How about you, Kermit?
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. It's been a learning experience, right? We got to have a little more things set up, I think, next time. But, I mean, let us know what you think. But overall, I think it's been pretty good for a first time out.
Oh, and Ruda with a 3-second time penalty. That'll hurt here.
That will. So if you're Dagger, imagine you're listening to Jeff right now. You're asking consistently for the time penalties he's got, right? Keeping an eye. Oh, Dagger runs a little wide. Let's keep it together.
I think if I'm Dagger, I've come this far. I'm just head down. I don't care what Jeff's got to say. I'm trying to get past this guy.
All right, that's fair. Of course, you got to make sure that you've got enough room to do it and enough time. Otherwise, it could be the end of the race for both of you. Let's hope that doesn't happen here.
Oh yeah, and it looks like one stop was the strategy today.
Yeah,
Sorry,
really
Dag worked out
interesting.
for him.
Yeah, I could have sworn that two, or well, I would have thought that two could have been an option, and I think at certain times in this race it was a viable option. Creamy had the option to take it a few times, but it seems to be working out for him so far. He's been able to put an extra 3 seconds on Kubele in the
Yeah,
past
I
few
think with
laps.
those time penalties, he didn't want to take the risk. He's got to just get that gap as big as possible and keep it.
Yeah. We got DRS range from Dagger now. Let's switch back to not this awful camera mode. All right.
Yeah, I think he's going to give it a go on the back straight or the front straight or whatever straight you want to call it.
This straight right here. No, oh, the
Start
front
finish
straight, yeah,
straight.
leading to the Persian King, another time penalty. Unfortunately, that won't help his standing with Shay B. Shay B is only 2 seconds off of, excuse me, never mind, this is terrible. Shay B is 11 seconds off. We'll see how many total time penalties everyone has in the end.
Ooh, I don't know if he's going to be close enough to have a move here, but he's got this lap in the next one. Get something done if he wants to be up in the floor.
Yeah, we got half a second. DRS screaming away, I'm sure. We got a yellow flag, sector 3. I don't know who that was. I guess someone just ran a little wide because it's gone now.
When he's a little closer here going into turn 4, he might
be able to make a move. Let's see how Ruder defends.
Takes it around the outside. Oh, he breaks a lot later.
Wow, he really didn't leave Ruda much room. I can't say that that was an unwarranted amount of room. Ruda, they touched tires.
Bumping tires here. Oh,
Coming around the corner, some great
there.
side-by-side racing.
Wow, this is an excellent battle.
We get a little touch going into the corner again.
Ruda just squeezes him out here. Hold on to his position. What an excellent battle there.
Yeah, great defending from Ruda. It'll be up to the stewards to decide if all of it was fair, but I couldn't see anything from our angle that looked otherwise.
Oh, little slip there from young Dagger.
Little slip from Dagger. Let's see if he's able to take it back down the straight here.
And his ERS is looking pretty rough. He's going to be struggling to defend. Ruda's, well, he's got a little more.
And we're on the last lap.
Go down the inside.
So, Creamy, I'm sorry, I'm not going to give you the glamour shot coming down the straight here. This battle's just too good. All right, let's see if you can make that pass stick.
Ruda's coming down the outside here. Oh, and it looks like Dagger's got him. He's got him measured now.
Yeah, Dagger was able to hold him off pretty well. I imagine being behind him for those 3 laps gave him a pretty good idea of the lines Ruda's looking to take, especially because he had clean air. So Ruda tries to take those same lines, but Dagger, a little bit of a mistake.
Giving Ruda a chance. Still have DRS on the back straight here, so he might be able to take him if he gets a good exit.
Creamy Johns, first position. Kubele, strongly positioned to finish.
Looks like you got another 5 seconds.
And Ruda comes around the corner and hits. And does the reset. Makes sense. Not, as far as I know, against the rules. I need to take a check again, but you are responsible for anything that happens when re-entering the racetrack that way.
I believe that's correct. Looks like Rogue and Kubele coming home in 2nd and 3rd respectively. Sky Archangel in 4th. Dagger finishes 5th.
Ruda able to pull out the 6th.
Yep, and his teammate Persian King following behind.
Persian King following, seeming to drop off a little bit for reasons unknown. Maybe trying to give Ruda that position with all the time penalties, but he only put 5 seconds. My guess is that's not going to be enough. Shay slowing down. Comes in a double 8th, and Red Hornet looks like he's going to be bringing up the back of the currently running pack. Certainly not the back of the pack overall. Length is still in the points, so you can't be too disappointed with that.
And a good race from all our drivers.
Yeah, we did. Everyone kept it, from what we could see, clean. Again, we'll see in the steward room later. I'm sure there will be some discussions. I think it'll be good just as a practice to square some of that away.
Creamy on the top step there. Looking to
Again, your
have some
one, two,
fun.
three. We had Creamy, Rogue,
Kublai, I believe.
and oh, sorry, yeah, Creamy, Kublai, and then Rogue. I believe he made it to the end. Yeah. Let's see where the time penalties shake out. Creamy John's 8 seconds worth of time penalties, but not enough to bring him down to second. Rogue able to squeak out second with Kublai's time penalties. Kublai having a total of 6 seconds. Sky Archangel coming in fourth with 3 seconds. Dagger dropping down to fifth with, let's see how many. 6 seconds worth of time penalties. Ruda with six, Persian with three, Shea with three, Doc with six, and I believe Gore with third. So not too much different than the running order, but certainly a couple shake-up, especially with Kublai. But I still,
Persian King had a great race.
that's yeah,
11th to 7th.
hmm
Starting on the mediums paid off for him.
yeah, absolutely. Let's
Ruda
take
as
a look
well.
here. Dagger choosing the soft medium medium. Of course, after that wing snapped off, he didn't have enough. He had too many laps left to make the softs work. He had to go to the softs. All right, let's see. I don't think this time around we are going to do an interview with any of the podium. I haven't prepared any questions, but of course, if someone shows up in the lounge, I'll put them on. So, Creamy Johns, if you're listening, go ahead and drop in one of the voice channels if you want to talk a little bit about your race. Other than that, we'll probably end it here. So, any big takeaways today from the race?
Now it looks like it's going to be a good season for these guys. A lot of good racers. Should be a lot of close races.
Yeah, I
Hopefully
think
some fun
so.
ones too.
Yeah, even looking from the front to the back of the grid, we didn't have any lapped runners on this. And Brazil, only being a minute and eight circuit time, is pretty easy to do. So I was pretty impressed that didn't have any back markers trying to fight their way through the field or get in the way of the field, rather. Kept it pretty clean. Hopefully, for race one of the season in Australia, we'll have a little fuller grid. Hopefully, 20 full, but we'll see. So again, if you're interested, if you're watching along, go ahead and join our Discord server at discord.me/PPR. That stands for Pole Position Racing. Go ahead and jump in, add some comments. We'll get you added to a league. Right now, PC Division 1 is full, only on only on reserve drivers. Um,
If I read right though, they're trying to open up a second division on PC.
yeah, they've got to be close. I have to say, I will be looking to join that division if they're
I
gonna.
guess Creamy wants to know where we're at. I guess we're not in a voice chat.
I don't think no, we're not in the voice chat, but I think he's asking where the other racers are at.
Oh, I don't know.
I'll jump in the voice chat. We'll see if anyone joins. So I'm in it right now. We'll see. But makes sense. So we lost. I didn't even think of that. We lost Cosmo. Let's get him in the room with us so we can bring him back.
There was two of you?
Yeah, there was. It was myself and Cosmo. He'll be joining us hopefully soon. So, Cream, how does it feel? First position preseason race.
Uh, felt all right, I guess. I know the pace probably could have been a little bit better, but everyone else spun out behind me, so it kind of got gifted to me. But I'll take it.
That's fair. We saw on lap 26, about 10 to go, you had a 12-second lead over the next car. At that point, were you considering pitting for softs, or do you think you were always going to stay out on the mediums for that long?
Um, if I didn't have penalties, I probably would have, but I had 13 seconds. I not 13 or 8. I don't remember what it was, but I would have if I didn't have the penalties, probably.
Oh, that makes sense. It was a little hard for us to add them up during the race. It kind of doesn't make it intuitive. You got to go uh,
Not at all.
through the
Yeah, it was a
heads-up
5
display.
second for speeding of the pits, and then a 3 second for warnings.
Okay, that makes sense. So, are you going to have that ironed out by the time we hit Australia?
I hope so. It's actually a track that I enjoy, so we'll
All right,
see.
fantastic. Yeah, that pit entrance is not super easy. I mean, it's a little bit slower speed, but it's definitely um, not slow.
yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Great. Well, good. Anything else to add to your win of the preseason before Australia?
No, I don't have anything else to say except pretty fun. Hopefully, we have a good season.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe we'll be able to start up a D2 if we get some of the people in chat to join PPR as well, and we'll go from there. Well, thanks for coming out.
Cool. See you, boys.
Good luck,
See
man.
ya.
Have a good season.
All right. Well, I don't see. Let's see, Kublai, if you'd like to jump on, we go ahead and have a word with you, and then Rogue, of course, as well, coming in P2. Either one of you want to jump on, we'll probably give it 2 more minutes. So yeah, I like the takeaway from the race. We'll see what individual footage comes up. I didn't see anything terribly concerning. You know, a lot of people struggling with tire drag. I think that's what caught a lot of people out.
Yeah, I think so.
And that's something that's always hard to manage, especially on a track like Brazil, where it seems like you're never keeping the wheel straight. You're always turning in one form or another.
Yeah, and some of those exiting traction zones are pretty tricky. Oh, looks like we got Kublai. How you doing, man?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Good.
Yeah, we liked what we saw out there. So it seems like a couple key people ahead of you dropped out. So which got you the podium, but I still don't think you would have come in less than fifth or sixth, which you can't be upset with.
Yeah, no, I can't complain. I was just sad about the not getting P2 because of the penalties, but can't really do anything about that.
In the race, was it pretty obvious that you were going to drop back to P3?
You mean like when I was in P2?
Right. Yes.
At first I had a 3 second penalty, right? So, and I was 3.7 seconds ahead of Rogue, so I felt pretty comfortable. But then I slightly went off track, like barely, and then they gave me another 3 second penalty. And then from there, I felt like I had to actually try and put some pressure on the gap. Which I'm at the last lap, I managed to get it to 5.8 seconds away, so he won by 0.259, I think. So
Oof.
That's
So,
rough.
did you ever consider pitting again for soft tires?
I did not. Once Jeff told me that I could pit on lap 17, I went to see what other people's pit strategies were, and I was one of the last people to pit, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And from then on, I figured I might as well, since I'm gonna have the freshest medium tires. There's no real reason to pit again.
Yeah, it seemed like it worked out really well for you. The decision to stay out just a little bit longer, push him a little bit more, gave you a little bit of tire left at the end, which seemed to obviously, got you the podium.
Yeah, can't complain about that. That's for sure.
Great. Well, anything else to add for your season, or excuse me, your preseason podium?
No, I think it was a fun race. I feel bad for anybody. I heard people crashed out of the front, so I feel bad for them. But opportunity.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, a
it
little
was.
contact.
Yeah, who was it? It was Gore dropped out.
Capita and
Mm,
Yeah, Gore
yeah,
was really, really early. I think he was in fifth or so, but then he dropped pretty much back to the back of the pack once he spun in turn one. We didn't see from our angle exactly what happened, but I imagine if he was streaming, I'd like to see some footage. Can't imagine penalties
yeah.
are going to mean too much in this race, but Australia, of course, they'll matter.
yeah, of course. Which I believe is next week, right?
Yep, I think it is. So I plan on being around for that. Hopefully, we'll be able to provide you some commentary again. We'll try to get moving forward here a little bit more consistent schedule as far as who will be available when, but we'll go from there. So will we see you at Australia, Kublai?
You should be. I don't have any plans that day. Nothing important.
All right, yeah, nothing more important than the race league, of course.
Oh, of course.
All right, thanks for coming out.
Good luck
Yep,
this
thank
season.
you.
Have a
Thank
good
you. Have a great day.
You too.
You too.
All right. Well, I think Rogue. Well, he's still on, so we'll give Rogue a couple minutes to jump in here, see if he has anything to add. But a pretty consistent race from Rogue. Kublai, obviously great strategy choice on his part, combined with a few other factors. I think put him in a really good position. It'll be interesting to see how many drivers we start with in Australia, and then of course turn one in Australia always gets interesting.
It does. And I think Rogue got tagged in the race as well. I think he had a little incident with Gore.
Oh, did he? Yeah, I was gonna say
If
normally
I remember
he's
right.
right up there with Creamy battling for position, and again another one of the super consistent racers that we have on this league. Again, I would have liked to see where Capita would have ended up towards the end of the race, but just kind of an unfortunate incident took him out. Not much you can do there, but except practice for next time.
Yeah. Not the time to practice. Brazil will be at the end of the year.
That it will be. Well, great. Thank you, everyone, for coming out. I think we're going to end it here. Again, this was Kermit and Cosmo with PPR Pole Position Racing. We'll see you next week for Australia.
Have a good night, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Bye bye.